There are some people in this world that live by a moral code. Some will carry this code on their sleeve, a little guide to let us know the difference between good and bad. And for the most part, these are good morals, like always being honest, respectful, responsible, caring, and so on and so on. And then we discover people whose morals, like today's case, are a bit off. They're good morals, but the way it was handled was not. So, Grin, have you ever heard of the phrase, snitches get stitches and end up in ditches?
I've heard of the phrase, snitches get stitches, just not the ditch part.
Hello, I'm Amadi, and with me is my host,
The Grin.
And welcome to our podcast, a place where we don't shy away from gruesome details, where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind, and let's talk about dark shit.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to ask for those who cannot deal with details of aggravated assault and murder on another human being, please check back with us next week. Might be better to listen to or not, who knows. Or you can just go back to one of our previous episodes if you were new.
Yeah.
So my case today is about Angela Maria Elizabeth Simpson, but more commonly known as Angela Simpson, born November 1975. So as today's date in March, she would be 48 years old. Where she was born, that is not known because she never disclosed her childhood. Not really. But we do know that she resides in Phoenix, Arizona. What I can tell you from what Angela has said in interviews is that ever since the age of 10, she has been hospitalized for having mental issues. It was said that she developed a liking for drugs at a young age, and to pay for them, she began to hustle her body and, do that kind of selling.
A woman of the night.
A woman of the night.
A lady of the night.
Oh, I like that, lady. She's not a lady. Another thing we know about Angela is that she does have 4 kids who all live in El Mirage, I'm guessing Arizona, but that is it. She has been tight-lipped when it comes about her kids and her childhood. There was even a part in her 2012 interview when she was asked about her children, she paused and it almost looked like she got a bit emotional thinking about them, but still she wouldn't say anything about them. And actually, she never gets actually emotional. And she's very calm. It's weird to say.
Isn't she very cold?
Yes, there you go. She's very cold. So we're just going to go up to when Angela was at the age of 33 in 2009. Angela had invited their 46-year-old Terry Neely, who lived in an assisted living facility down the street, who was mainly wheelchair ridden but could take the occasional step. She invited him to her apartment, and I say invite, but she actually lured him with the promises of drugs and sex. Angela's reason for him being there wasn't because she was into him, but she had him over because she heard, supposedly he told her, is that he was a police informant working with the police department. Now with Angela, she had a huge hatred for informants or snitches. Snitches are the reason why a lot of her family members were locked away, she says. She also says that, quotations, that he told on a righteous person years ago. The assisted living facility that Terry was living at reported him missing on August 2nd, 2009. Starting that day, Angela would end up keeping Terry at her apartment for the next 3 days. And in those next few days, they were not filled with drugs and sex like she had promised, but with agonizing torture. Because of Terry being a so-called snitch, Angela tied him up on a chair, placed a full-length mirror in front of him, and began to torture him. She wanted him to see everything that she was going to do to him.
Sounds to me like she has deep rage that she wanted to get out.
She really hates people who tell on other people. She doesn't talk about her childhood, so I wonder why she really hates the police. And then
maybe because of her family. Because like she said, she has family in prison.
She says she has family, but then when asked in an interview if she actually does have family in prison, like did he tell on family members or anything like that? She said, no, I don't know anybody.
Or maybe growing up, these are assumptions, but maybe growing up, it was really like etched in her that, you can't tell on somebody.
Like, don't, like for little kids, I've heard of don't be a snitch.
Which I remember growing up, and I was told by a teacher once, you can't be a snitch. And now looking back, I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense. Like looking back now, I'm like, so if something is happening to you, don't go and tell somebody? That doesn't make any sense to me.
See, I think if you're a child and a teacher tells you that, they need to elaborate, meaning like, I'm telling the teacher, oh, this kid Timmy next to me won't stop talking. Stop being a snitch, like that's something little. I think they need to elaborate. Like if it's something little, don't tell.
Yeah.
If it's something big, please let me know. But just saying, don't snitch.
It's kind of complicated though, because again, you're a kid. Freaking Timmy won't leave you alone, but like you're scared to say, well, depending on the kid and the personality too, some kids are like kind of like afraid to elaborate and say more, or like it takes the like courage to even go up to an adult and say it, but not elaborate and say the whole thing.
Oh,
if something bigger is happening. That's why, to me, now looking back, I don't understand the whole saying that to a kid. Maybe to an adult, yeah. Obviously, maybe not to like tattle is the other thing.
yeah. Tattletale.
Yeah. I just,
You hate your teacher, don't you?
I do. Honestly, looking back, I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. What if somebody else was like going to you for help and you said to that kid, don't tattletale. Don't be a tattletale. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I was in elementary when this happened. I will throw that in there.
So back to Angela and her torture.
Okay.
Angela, she actually ended up beating Terry with a tire iron. She pulled every single one of his teeth out, stabbed him approximately 50 times, drove a 3-inch nail into his head, slit his throat, and strangled him with a coaxial cable. After she did all this, she dismembered Terry and dumped his body in a dumpster behind a North Phoenix church before she set him on fire.
And she probably did this like starting off small and working her way with the torture, right?
Yes, she did this within the span of 3 days.
The part that gets to me is the 3-inch nail.
And the sad thing with that is like it's going through your head, okay? And with her doing that to Terry, that is not what killed him. He was alive with that in his head.
That is horrific. She was enraged.
Yeah. And the thing is, like in her interview, she said that the killing, or either the killing or the torture, took only 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So I wonder if everything like she was doing before was just
like small cuts or...
No, it said stabbing. It didn't say slices or like little nicks. It said stabbing. That's what the autopsy said.
Well, actually, I did read something from somewhere like a slice is like somebody is different from like a stab. Like a stab,
mm-hmm.
they're like enraged. They're like actually like...
Especially 50 times. That's anger.
It is pure anger compared to a slice, where a slice is different. I forgot. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? I did go back and find that article. But yeah, I found somewhere where like...
Okay, this is weird to say. But a slice sounds more like teasing.
Yes.
That's what it's...
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's what it feels like more. Not feels, but it sounds more like I'm just going to tease you. That's what I'm going to do. Stabbing, like a straight stabbing, especially 50 times, that's rage. No, that's hatred.
Yeah. There is a big difference there.
Oh, yeah. The next morning, March 6th at 5:10 a.m., the firefighters were called to the scene behind the church where they discovered the body of Terry. But without teeth, they couldn't pull his dental records to find out who he was. But lucky for them, and sucking for Angela, his fingerprints were still there. So they were able to find out who he was.
Damn, because I did read an article where I came across a case. This man killed his wife, and he thought he was so smart that he outsmarted the police. He removed her fingers and removed her teeth because of the same thing. You can't, without dental records, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And fingerprint marks. There's no fingerprint marks. But what he didn't take into account, this little sleaze bag, is this woman had breast implants, and they were able to find out who she was because of the serial number on her implants.
That is great. Oh, I just had this image. Like, what happens if he knew that and just took them out? Ugh!
Ew. Oh, no. You can't see this right now, but Amadi is hugging herself.
No, I'm hugging my chest right now. Oh, what happens if? Oh, I don't like that I thought of that.
Yeah.
There's probably psychos out there who do know that stuff, and they probably have done it.
If they came across that case, now they do.
Why does that make me want to tear? That's creepy to think if somebody went that far, even to remove serial numbered implants.
Well, this man wasn't smart enough.
He thought he was.
He thought he was.
He was close.
I mean, he left her without any teeth and without fingers, but justice got him.
Good asshole. Yeah. But since the fire department and the police department found out who Terry was, with an interview with the apartment manager by Phoenix TV station KTVK, the apartment manager told the police that an undisclosed witness saw a wheelchair next to a smoking door in the apartments, and that room was 201. I'm going to explain a little bit of the apartment, if I can. So the door to 201, I think the bottom half of it had ashes or smoke marks, I guess. And in the inside, it was described as just dark. Well, I see pictures or a video actually, and it is dark. There's not much in there, but it was messy.
There's not much in there, but what's in there is messy.
Yes.
What's in there is messy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an abandoned, dark place. That usually abandoned places don't have that much stuff in there, but it just still feels messy. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm trying to picture it.
Just think of it like an abandoned place. Like
okay.
Somebody who hasn't been there in a while.
Okay.
Okay. In there, they found a few things. They found a container of bleach on the counter, a full-length mirror, and on the floor there was a bag that contained what looked like ashes. The apartment manager, since he knew that Angela lived there, he said that she must have been off her psych medication, but I don't know if it was ever said that she was on psych meds.
Maybe he joked about it, not realize what actually happened.
Yeah,
sometimes
maybe.
You deal with a weirdo, or if you go to a grocery store and you see somebody throwing a tantrum, sometimes people use the phrase, oh, somebody's not on their pills or not on their psych meds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. All right. And so for Angela, she actually got found out that it was her because of the room. And luckily for the police department, they already had Angela in custody because the day after that she left Terry's body in the dumpster, she was arrested for armed robbery with a man named Edward Cracker McFarland. And since they were arrested together, it was found out that Cracker had helped Angela dispose of Terry's body. He was originally charged with kidnap for Terry, but that was later dropped. And there was also some, little rumors that since Angela wasn't this huge, she wasn't super strong or anything, she couldn't have done all this by herself, all of this to Terry. Yeah. So they thought that somebody would have been helping her too, but that was just talk. It was never proven. When Angela was questioned about Terry, all she asked was to go pee, and then she asked for a candy bar, and then she would tell them everything they needed to know about what she did. Angela was arrested and sentenced to natural life plus another 14 years on March 22nd, 2012. Not long after her sentencing, she was interviewed by, I believe, CNN in 2012, and just watching this interview, even though she was calm, she's also very menacing in her interview. She's just very, very scary when she starts talking about what she did to Terry.
I want to go back to this candy bar. It took her a candy bar just to say, I'm going to spill the beans and tell you what actually happened.
Yeah. All she asked for was a candy bar, and then she was going to tell you,
She didn't care.
Oh, she didn't give a shit what she did.
Yeah.
That's another little insight of what type of person she is. She doesn't care.
Yeah, okay.
So she starts off her recount of that day. I'm going to try my best to sound monotone and
And cold.
And cold. There you go, cold. I took him to my house, walked him down the street, walked him upstairs, kicked his ass, and killed him. She even says that the media acts like he couldn't walk at all, when in fact he did walk up her stairs. When asked if she felt guilty for what she did, her response was, "Guilty? For ridding the world of snitches? No, I don't feel guilty." Maybe, does she have regrets? She actually says she does, but her answer is, "I would have tortured for a week instead of 3 days, and I regret not killing my other victim." So supposedly she had another victim from the robbery, but she didn't get to kill him because she had other things to do. When asked about being remorseful, her answer, not at all. Why would I be? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play some clips of the video of Angela's 2012 interview. Yeah. And what I have recounted is nothing compared to how her calmness or her coldness is.
Yes.
When she's speaking about torture and murder. It's going to sound completely different from how I try to explain it. Or
You tried your best. But yeah, you can't. Yeah, you tried your best, but yeah, it probably is completely different.
Angela, I've seen previous interviews with the police, and one of our colleagues talked to you once upon a time. You're very upfront.
Pretty much.
About talking about this killing.
Right.
You murdered this man.
Yes.
You tortured him.
Of course.
There is no ambiguity, and there is nothing you want us. In court today, you said you're not here to pretend to be remorseful.
Of course not. Why would I do that?
Are you remorseful?
Not at all.
Why?
Why would I be?
Well, why did this man deserve to die? You claim he was a snitch.
Well,
what proof do you have of that?
He told me he was a snitch.
He told you.
On many occasions. But that really doesn't matter. Why did you guys want to kill me? Phoenix wanted to kill me. What's the difference? Everybody has a reason to kill. My reason might not be good to you, but your reason wasn't good to me. So.
The incident, can you tell me anything about what happened during those 3 days while you were...
What do you mean?
No.
I took him to my house. Walked him down the street. I don't know why the media acts like the motherfucker couldn't walk. He walked very well. Walked him upstairs, kicked his ass, and killed him.
And again, your belief is that he was a snitch because he
Right.
told you. You claimed that other people had been killed in that same, or you had killed other people. Have you killed other people?
No, I've never killed anyone else.
So that was something to talk.
Right.
How do you feel about spending the rest of your life in prison?
I got a lot of family in prison, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I got many sisters in prison. I can't wait to see them. It's really not that much of a punishment to be sentenced to spend my life with my family.
And you don't want to talk about your past, but your lawyer said that, in sentencing you, the judge should bear in mind that you've had a really tough life.
I started being hospitalized at 10 years old. I have a mental history from 10 years old till present, so, yeah.
When you say mental history, I mean, do you care that anyone feels sorry for you? Do you want anyone?
Feel sorry for me?
Yeah. Should the people who are watching this say because she had a bad childhood?
Of course not.
She has mental illness.
Of course not, no.
That we should feel some sympathy for you?
No.
You would not have that?
I want no sympathy, no.
Then do you care what anybody thinks of Angela Simpson and what you have done?
I don't.
It's again, your candor. I've interviewed people who have committed murders before, and usually they sort of prevaricate or they this or that. You're about as direct as it gets.
Right.
Why is that?
It's only fair. I expect you to be the same way.
Okay. Do you think that it was fair today? It was justice in that courtroom?
No, I don't.
Why?
I should have gotten the death penalty.
Did you want the death penalty?
No, I prefer to spend my life with my sisters, but, yeah, I do believe that would have been justice.
So you deserve death penalty, but you're glad that you got what you got.
Right.
Because you...
Right.
Yeah, she's very cold, very direct.
Like there's no emotion. Like she did what she did. She doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And did you hear okay, so it's almost like she's talking about like a moral thing again.
Yeah.
She believes what she did to Terry
Was completely right.
was okay, but not okay. But she believes what she did
In
to
her
him,
eyes, yeah.
if justice was correct, she would have got a death sentence.
She's almost...
She preferred the death sentence because that would have been justice.
Yeah.
But she's okay that, she's spending it with her so-called family.
Yeah.
But that justice wasn't served correctly.
Yeah.
It's weird. And on the beginning part of it too, I guess a couple of years ago, I want to say it started 2021. There was users, I guess, on TikTok redoing the beginning of that scene that she would do it again. There was TikTok, like people doing that.
Like acting it out?
Yeah, there you go. Acting it out, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, she definitely seems very, very cold, very direct. She is somebody who, I'm also looking at her mannerisms. She is looking at the person who's conducting the interview and not losing eye contact.
No.
She almost wants to, I don't know if she wants to, but it almost feels like she's dominant in this. She has the power.
Yeah, almost, yeah. Especially like keeping eye contact. Oh, yeah.
And the short answers, looking straight at you.
That would be intimidating.
There you go.
Like
intimidating.
her,
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody like her, the way she looks, like talking to me the way she did, I'd be like, oh my God, like almost cowering down, like,
Exactly.
Is she coming for me?
A very intimidating behavior. And the way she answered and her answers to some of these questions, kind of like psychopathic behavior with knowing what you did, but not feeling remorseful for it, but also stating that not true justice was served. Because if true justice was served, you should have gotten the death penalty. You should have died.
She is different. I don't know how to explain her.
Very, very, yes, very, very different. We'll put it there.
And when you say your sisters, you're talking about women you know in prison.
Right.
Okay, and have you found that there is some bonding and that you have made friends here that will be of some comfort to you when you're in prison?
Most definitely, yes.
Most definitely, yes.
Yeah.
What has the experience been like here in this facility?
Horrible.
Really?
Yes, it's terrible. Jail is awful. They don't, they have no, they have no compassion. They don't give us the things we need here.
Will prison to your understanding?
I certainly hope so, yes.
Prison? Have you done time in prison?
No.
So you're hoping that it will be a better existence?
Yes,
for you.
definitely.
Okay, right here, this part I just want to add in how backwards she is. She is she's not really complaining. She's just saying what's going on. But she is saying that people in jail are not getting what they need. But yet it's okay for her to torture and burn a human.
Yes, the part I want to highlight, there's no compassion here. But you didn't have compassion over somebody else. You went and tortured somebody for 3 days, just
But people in jail don't get what
moved
they
on
need.
with your life like it was nothing.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. She's backwards.
Yes, I definitely agree.
There, you're up front. I want to know if you have any concerns about what put you in that position to do that to them.
It was just too much. The things he talked about, it was too much.
Do you believe him? I mean, lots of people go around claiming I'm a snitch or making themselves...
Really, you don't say.
Well, I think they talk about law. I know people coming. I've got associations with law enforcement. I've got this. I'm a friend with this.
Do you happen to have a list of those people?
They name drop. Well, maybe in the circle, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
People say lots of things to make themselves sort of.
Well, he picked the wrong neck to say that to. If he wanted to brag about putting so many people in prison, he picked the wrong person.
And that's what did it to him. That's why you.
What, the bragging?
The bragging
yeah.
about putting people in prison.
Right.
People you knew.
No, I don't know any of them.
Okay. Do you believe him? Do you think he really was a snitch?
Oops, if he wasn't. Yes.
Can you believe her?
Oops, if he wasn't. No, I don't know anybody personally that he might have turned in. Yes.
She's joking about killing. Like, do you have those names? And oops, if he wasn't, like, and if you probably can hear it, but also watching it, when she says that, it's almost like she's waiting for a reaction from him.
Yes.
After she said, oops, if he wasn't.
Yes, I caught that.
Right?
You guys, we're not telling you to do it, but it is interesting. Like, if you are interested in this case, I would recommend you watch the interview, because at this clip that I'm watching, it did pan out and you're getting like the full body. This woman is sitting down very relaxed, very calm, and just making jokes.
Yeah, that's all she's doing. And that's exactly what I was going to say next. Like, you can hear in her voice how, I'm just going to say it nicer, like how crazy she is.
Yeah.
But watching it, I'm not really telling you guys to watch it, but if you're curious, she's interesting.
Yeah, very chilling.
It is, especially with her just wide eyes, just staring, very calm.
Yeah, and then the giggles.
The joke. Oh my God, the joking.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's what got this interview on World Star, because it started off on World Star because of how cold she is. And oops, if he wasn't. I think that's the part that I remember first hearing about her.
I agree. I feel like she says these things and just waits for the guy who's conducting the interview get his reaction.
Mm-hmm. She is.
Again, pretty psychotic.
Because, first of all, women generally don't commit crimes this heinous.
Right.
This is usually the domain of men.
That's unfortunate.
You think more women?
Oh, yeah, equal opportunity, definitely.
And I know you're being sort of smart aleck.
Slightly sarcastic.
But seriously, I mean, in some ways, I've been covering murder and mayhem and covered serial killers to petty shoot-em-ups. And you don't meet many women who commit the kind of calculated, long-term murder that you committed with this guy. And you don't meet many people who are willing to say, I did it, and you know what? Deal with it.
Right. That's the way it should be, in my opinion.
But you seem so, you seem like you're sort of just, I'm sort of almost self-righteous about, I did this, and I did. Do you think you did the right thing by killing this guy?
Definitely.
But other than shooting his mouth off, what else did he do? That you know of?
That's what he got done for. He's white trash. Somebody had to take it out. That's it.
Was there a racial component to it?
Oh, there's always a racial component.
Okay. And what do you mean by that?
I'm not going to elaborate on that at all.
Okay, but the fact that you're a black woman and he's a white guy, that factored into your killing him?
Yeah. I wouldn't kill another black individual.
Okay. Would you, if you had that moment to live over again?
I'd have kept him alive a week.
But you would have still tortured him and killed him?
No, I'd have tortured him for a week, yeah, instead of 3 days. Definitely.
So your only regret is that the torture didn't go on any longer?
Right, and I regret not killing my other victim. I should have killed him, too. I just didn't have time. I had to go somewhere.
And tell me who that other victim was?
Joseph Ventress for the armed robbery. Yeah. I should have killed him, but I had to go.
Will you kill again?
If the opportunity arises, I hope so. Okay, we're done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Angel.
Good shit, dude. That's gonna be crazy, isn't it? That's gonna be wicked. Make it look good, please.
I'm not a professional in any capacity. I just have opinions. All right. So when she says this is a racial thing, I don't fully believe her, because in her armed robbery, her partner is named Edward Cracker McFarland. Cracker, who is a white guy, huge tattoo on his neck that actually says Cracker. He's a white guy. So he was her armed robbery partner. I don't know if there was anything sexual between them, but he was still her partner. So that part I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm not sure if she's trying to say like, yeah, this is a racial thing, but her partner was a white guy.
Again, I feel like I'm going back to what you said. She says these things, but I feel like she's just trying to get a reaction.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Completely. Especially at the end, how she said that it's going to be wicked.
Yeah.
And make it look good. And she's
good.
laughing.
Yeah.
And after that part, she even says, when she found out that they were still recording her after she said that, she says, oh, don't record that or edit that out.
Yeah.
Like, so they don't, see how she actually is.
Yeah. Because, again, You guys are hearing it, but you guys aren't seeing it. Once the interview kind of like stopped and she's like, that's it. She gets up and she like
Laughing.
just joking, just like
This is going to be awesome. Look,
Yeah.
I'm going to look so evil.
yeah, she was
She's
being
putting on a show.
proud and putting on a show. Yes.
Yeah, she was.
Watching her also answering these questions, she's intelligent.
There's many articles that say that she is intelligent.
Which makes her even more scary. There's a part where the guy who's conducting the interview says that, you don't see something this gruesome, this heinous
From a woman?
from a woman. Again, going back to me and looking up things about
Since
women and
your
crimes.
whole theme is women
Yes,
killers.
it interests me.
Yes.
I'm putting it out there. It does interest me. No, this woman took 3 days to slowly torture her victim until she killed him off.
Yeah, until she got tired, I guess.
Yeah, and she got tired. And I'm sorry, but there are other cases that are similar too, where they're kind of, what's the word, calculative?
Mm-hmm.
And they are just as gruesome, but they don't seem to, how do I put it, kind of create a sloppy mess.
That women aren't sloppy?
Most. I'm not going to say all.
Well,
most of the killers aren't compared to a male killer.
Are you saying more like male killers will actually, this is really weird to say out loud, but a sloppy murder killing would be using a gun.
Exactly.
And then women wouldn't do something that messy.
Yes. But this was messy though. But this was messy, thinking back on it. But they're a bit more...
Torturous.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes, because with a gun, it's pretty much instant if you get the right spot.
Here, it feels wrong to say, but she got her rage out.
Oh my God, I can't even say that word
Calculating. She was calculating.
That makes sense because she took her time. She made him see what she was doing with the mirror.
Yes.
And with her taking time, some of these things were actually healing, but he could still feel that pain.
Yes, the whole nail in his head.
Oh God, yeah.
He was alive during that.
And then I'm not sure if I read what actually killed him, but I want to say it was the strangulation that killed him.
The strangulation.
So that means that he was still alive and feeling all those 50 stabs.
Yes. Keep in mind,
and being hit with a tire iron.
You also said that he was slit in the throat, and that didn't kill him.
Slit in the throat and then strangled.
There's
this
actually
poor guy.
Another case that kind of hit me in the noggin that has some similarities that I might cover later on. It's a short one, but it's also done by a woman who tortured her victim within days and then got rid of it like nothing. Got rid of the body like nothing.
Oh, so it's just like Angela.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I've seen documentaries, I've read articles, kind of like the women, the village women. Women are, most of the female killers, they're more calculating.
Well, yeah, because the village of women of Negrive, right?
Yeah.
That was poison.
Yeah.
That's not messy. Well, it's so weird saying. In a killing sense, it's not messy. I hate that I say that out loud. I'm trying to explain my point.
We're trying to elaborate and get our thoughts out, but it's
just sounds
it's a bit
messed
difficult
up.
because it does sound horrible. But yeah, I don't know. I've looked at cases from what female killers do and what male killers do. The women, the females, are a bit more sinister with what they do. Most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time. Most of the time.
It's almost like women hold more grudges.
Yes.
And it's not a female-male thing. I'm not trying to say that males just act on instinct and just, is it instinct or is spontaneity?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? I'm not saying that, but kind of, women do hold more grudges than men do. I believe.
Again, it's not it's not all cases that are like this. Again, like I said, most of them. Because again, there are some male killers who are calculating and aren't messy. Yeah, I just see it more in female killers.
Yeah, it's true. So with Angela, there was another interview that she did. She was on a show called, she wasn't the main part, but it was, I think, her and 3 or 4 other women. It was called Lockup Raw, where they interview women in prison, or I think it's also men too. She was just as insane as she was in the first interview. Did you by any chance see it?
I haven't seen that one. I have seen this interview that I just saw that you showed me, the clips. But it has been a while since I've read or seen anything from this case. It's been a long time actually, but I have heard of the heinous things that she did to her victim. I haven't seen the other one.
Yeah,
I
and the
might
other
go
one,
see it.
it's she's still the same. She's still that cold, sarcastic way. There was one part where they asked her to explain what she did, and she said that she didn't want to explain it or talk about it because she's going to get all hot and bothered. And there was he wasn't the boom mic guy. I think he was a guy holding up something to block sound. So he was really close to her. And when she said that, she said, like, oh, I'm going to get all hot and bothered, and this guy's too close to me, and, things might happen. And first he's laughing. And then in the solo interview to that guy, he said, I was laughing because, she was, making a joke. And then she started talking about what she did. And, and then he's like, then I realized that she wasn't joking. She
No.
could have done something.
Yeah.
She's just,
She seems, or she is, just a violent individual.
yeah, she
And the
is.
scary thing is, watching this interview, and again, going back to what she did and how she did it, this woman seems intelligent.
She is. That's why there might have been a reason why she wanted death sentence.
Yeah. And I am very curious, and it's true, you don't know her past, at least at the time when I looked it up and first found out. You don't know anything about her past, but I'm very, very curious.
I could not find anybody who has written anything or even her saying anything about her past life.
Yeah.
Nothing. She has actually been super like I
Private
said,
about it.
yes, she's tight-lipped. She's not going to say anything.
But I'm very, very curious to know.
Yeah. I remember there one part of the interview, I don't think it was shown in that one. They asked, or the interviewer asked, what or why your hatred with the police officers.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to elaborate. She didn't I'm not going to get into it.
There is something there.
Well, in the lockup raw, she even showed them, I guess she started drawing, and she had drew this so-called series of drawings, and they were called Pigs in a Blanket. So you know how they correlate pigs with police officers. So it was some of the police officers as pigs and some of their death. That was her little drawing. She even joked that it's a cute series and that she should make a book for baby gangsters. For baby gangsters, she should make a book for them because of what she does. Like, I don't even know what to think about this woman. She also said, I think in the beginning of that Lockup Raw episode, she said that she was considered, or she loves that she's being considered by some of the people there of being possessed. She thought that was awesome. So I think I heard you say that you watched a show called Killing Eve.
Yes.
So that show, Killing Eve, that came out in 2018, I've never heard of it. But the creator, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, according to the New York Times, she said that she drew inspiration when searching for female assassins from that clip from 2012, that the jailhouse interview on YouTube from Angela Simpson. So I guess the assassin in there, I forgot her name, starts with a B, is based off Angela and how she was so cold and the way she spoke.
So yes, first season, I binge watched that. I thought it was very, very interesting. Now, somebody who has seen the show versus police, and then there is this assassin. It's like a cat and mouse thing. And instantly gripped me. The assassin in that show, who's played by Jodie Comer, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard anything that she's done, is excellent. Yes, she is a very cold woman. She is a very intelligent woman. And she is a very violent. Assassins have to be violent. But she's very, very intelligent, very, very cold. And basically is a character that tries to get her way. It's her way or no way.
So for the first few parts that you were explaining her, do you actually see now, since you've watched the show?
Actually,
do you see the
now,
correlation between Angela and her?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, a little bit. Because
I think the creator also says she got parts from other things
killers
that she's searched up, but there's been certain parts from Angela. That's the reason she had the whole cold way that she would speak.
Yeah.
That's what she got from there.
She's very precise. She is a very, very good villain in that show. I would recommend it. I
know Sandra Oh is in it, right?
Sandra Oh plays the police. She delivers a really good, really, really good performance. I think it's Yeah, now that you mentioned that and how she got that, like, inspiration, I can kind of get it. Because, yes, that woman is very, very intelligent.
Yeah, that's how Angela seems like.
Oh, and then now thinking about it too, that woman, like, or that character plays, it's like a joke to her, certain things.
Just
It's
like
kind of like a childlike behavior sometimes.
Yeah, because Angela in her interviews did joke around a lot. She thought it was funny to be sarcastic, like asking, like, do you have the names of those other people
Now thinking
being
about it, yeah.
snitches and everything,
That
or
part,
informants?
just killing people, is like a joke. It's like a regular Friday night.
Oh, and then also in the Lockup Raw, when asked how does she place her, I guess, like, seriousness and, placing them in numbers.
Yeah.
She said number one is, she called them chomos, but they're child molesters. Number two are informants. And then number three are, I believe she said, police officers. Like, that's her, like, list of, like, the worst, okay?
Oh,
The
okay,
worst.
okay. I was going to say, okay.
No, number one worst is child molesters, and then
Okay.
informants, and then police officers. And then one of the interviewers asked her, well, what about murderers? Or somebody who murders somebody else? And she looked so confused, like, what do you mean? He was like, well, where do you put them? She was like, on what? They're like, on your list. She was like, you can't put murderers with this list. She's like, and she starts laughing. She's like, it's not even the same thing. Like, she's laughing, like, thinking, like, no, and she even says that somebody who murdered somebody else, they did it for a reason. You should be looking at the person who's murdered for what they did.
It was their fault.
It was their fault.
Yeah, that's insane. But going back to that, child molesters first on that list. Well, first of all, the list. Child molesters, snitches.
She said police
I don't wanna say
officers.
snitches. Informants. And then police officers. Yeah, I want to know this woman's past.
Yeah.
Because those three things, I don't know. They kind of
Something happened to her.
spark an alarm.
If somebody does somebody wrong, usually that person, especially if they have nothing left to lose, she's behind bars forever, usually they would say something. They would at least finally come out and say, like, what happened. But then again, if you think back to her interview in 2012, she doesn't want people to feel sorry for her.
She doesn't want sympathy for anybody.
No.
And I feel like
She doesn't want anybody to feel bad for her.
if something like that were to be revealed, I don't know, she wouldn't know.
Because she doesn't want, if she grew up, like, having some very horrible, sad life, she doesn't want people to feel sorry for her. Like,
Yeah.
oh, she did this for a reason. Like, no, don't feel bad for me.
Yeah, I feel like that would enrage her even more.
Probably, yeah. Well, you guys, let us know what you think about this fun episode of Angela Simpson and poor Terry Neely, who it turns out that he was not an informant. He was just saying it, just maybe to get cool points.
I was gonna say, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
No. Said the wrong thing to the wrong individual.
Yes. All right, you guys, be well
Be safe.
and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.